quiet week. Not a lot in the news, relatively low-key. Fucking hell. Literally, we were all like, can't wait to leave 2020 behind. It's been 8 days. It's Friday at the time of recording this. It was 4 days ago that Boris Johnson told us to go into lockdown. 4! Went into lockdown on Monday. Georgia flipped the Senate on Tuesday. Treason in the Capitol on Wednesday. Personally, I can't think of a better way to react to all of this than with a Q&A. Yep, but there's music and titles in this one, so she fancy. I went on Instagram and asked you for some questions, and you came through, as per. I tend to get asked a lot of the same questions, so I've grouped a few topics, and then we'll do a quick fire at the end. When people ask how are you, they don't want the truth. You walk in and you want to say, how you doing? And I want to say, good. You don't even want to say, yeah, good. Because that invites a question. Oh, you qualified that good with a yeah. I don't have the time for, I am getting by. We'll put it that way. Everyone's 2020 was bad. Mine was like venti bad with an extra shot and some whipped cream on top. But the whipped cream had gone off, so the whole drink was really, it was just bad. It's been a horrible, horrible week in the news, and I have watched all of it. I definitely felt for the first half of this week very like futile, very like, I found it hard to believe that this was not just it. And I actually had a hospital appointment for my finger, which I did break, by the way. But on the way back, it just, one of the game shops was open. And I'm like, really? Because we've done it before, and because the government lost all good faith and trust, thanks to one man's commitment to ophthalmology, felt like people just sort of decided that they didn't really have to, or we shouldn't try as hard. The goodwill is gone. What it's really given me flashbacks to, and I realised this on the way home, was, you know when you're at school, and I feel like the people involved in this channel, we were all the nerds. We all followed the rules, right? Quite strictly. And the cool kids didn't, and they never got told off for it. And I feel like that's happening now because the bookshops are closed, but the fucking game store is sneaking in a click and collect. God damn it. It sort of is what it is. A friend of mine who is a nurse reminded me that there is actually an end of this tunnel. I have small and large goals now, and that's really putting me on, I think, a good foot. I just need to get the wheels in motion on like a schedule in a way that I haven't for the past sort of year or so. I feel like I'm a rusty old vehicle under a tarpaulin that hasn't moved in a while, so everything's quite stiff and squeaky. I just need a bit of TLC and patience, and if things go right, I eventually could soar. I'm chitty chitty bang bang. I don't do New Year's resolutions anymore, they're bollocks. I really get the point of the end of a year and the beginning of a new one being a nice, like, checkpoint in time to round off bad habits and try and fashion new ones. But the amount of pressure we put on ourselves to commit to them really makes us just not want to do them, you know? Having a list of things that you really want to do and then over time realising that the full list was unattainable means that you've got blank spaces on your checklist, and I just feel bad about it the next month. So like, fuck it, no resolutions, just carrying on. I guess the one resolution I have is to just make the things, don't be afraid to fail, move forward tentatively, get rid of the rust, get rid of the squeak, and eventually, you know, fly and save some children from a buffoonish Eastern European king and his evil Mighty Boosh sidekick. A lot of you asked about the hair, thank you very much. I stopped being blonde because my scalp needed a break, and then everything went wrong with the world. So I've done this as a public service. That was like midway through December, and now I won't be able to get the roots touched up until March. We tried cutting in a line, and what that's done is meant that I've just got one little patch of dark. I don't think I'll be going funny colours because they're just a lot of like upkeep. It's a level of commitment that I'm not ready for. I did love the like blue-green though. That made me very happy. And I guess I'm growing it out again. I guess. So it really is like Groundhog Year, because over the next few weeks, you're all gonna be tense wondering whether or not I'm gonna commit and cut off the sides of my hair again. Blech. I enjoyed trying the little curtain vibe. It's a bit different, you know? But also I think my jawline wasn't there for it at that point. As I'm getting older, my skin is slackening and my face is getting wider. So perhaps if I'd gone for the floppy fringe when I was 17, which I did, in fairness, or if any Hollywood studio wants to put me in a rom-com and pay for me to get the jawline that will pull off that hair, I'm happy to try it. So many people wanted to know what's the situation with my Glee video, which is wild because I obviously brought you all along for the ride for me binging Glee, and I mentioned it in a video. But the fact that 6 months later, people are still like, I want to hear that, I should probably get a shift on. The thing was, as I was getting towards the end of season 5, there was a lot of bad press about the show and its treatment of its black actors, particularly by members of the cast. And with that happening at a time of severe racial reckoning in America, it felt like not the right time to do a deep dive into Glee, and I wasn't really ready to watch the 6th season because everything was still so fresh. And then when I was ready to start again, we got the absolutely devastating news about Naya Rivera passing away. And I spoke about this a lot on Instagram. Santana was the character that really spoke to me and took what was just a fun watch to a level where I was like, I'm realizing some things about myself, and that's why I want to make a video about it. So I thought it was more appropriate for me to like let a lot of time pass and then make it at a more appropriate time. And I think that time is sort of on the way now. So I'm gonna open the notes folder up again and I'll watch the final series, I'll make the video. And I'm really pleased to know that you still want to see it. I better make it good.
Wouldn't let you go if you left me.
I've mentioned I want to do a master's degree. It actually leads on from Glee because when in the 4th season they went to NIADA, I realized just how much I wanted to study acting. I love the profession of acting. It's all I've ever really wanted to be. That and a Spice Girl. I already have a bachelor's degree in film and television from Lincoln. Someone asked me if I use my uni degree. Hello? And because I've done a BA already, I can't get funding to do another BA, but I can get funding to do a master's degree in the UK. Entry requirements are generally like you need to have either a degree or equivalent professional experience. And I think you could make a solid argument that I've got some experience. So I'm looking at a few places. Maybe I'll tell you about them. Shall we do this as a full video in its own right? I think maybe we will. The short version is, what I want to do with my life is to act on screen. I love television and film. I always have. I get such a buzz acting for camera, but I love musical theatre and I grew up doing musicals every single year. What I'd love is to do musicals on screen. I've got my eye on Jesus Christ Superstar. I don't know if they're gonna do a remake ever, but I wanna play Judas. So I found courses in acting for screen and in musical theatre, and there's a little part of me that feels like if I'm gonna go and do it, if I'm gonna go and spend that time in the place, it would be an incredible experience to study musical theatre performance like that. There is something pulling me. It's like a magnet. I can't let the idea go. I really have to look at it. We'll talk about it in a full video. Look at this. Just a couple in the postbox. Very, very first thing you'll do when England eventually gets the all clear we did it. Probably leave the country. I had a flight to Boston that was supposed to happen the very week we went into the first lockdown. And now that ticket is just an open ticket to somewhere in America. So if they can sort their shit out, when are we gonna get a video of you attempting Trixie makeup? Here's the tea, sis. One of the projects I wanted to make at the start of last year was getting my friends to do my makeup. I love makeup, but I didn't grow up wearing it, so I don't know how any of it works. It's all quite intimidating. And I have a lot of friends who are makeup artists, prosthetic artists, who are beauty influencers. I have friends who just wear makeup for pleasure. And I thought it would be really fun to go around the country and have people do my makeup and talk about why wearing makeup is fun. But the second we've got needles in our arms, also I just love the attention. When someone's putting makeup on your face, they're just really close to you and they're like touching you and they'll talk a little softer and they're like looking at you, but they're not really looking at you. I get the same experience when I'm at the doctor's. A skill you'd like to pick up this year and why ties into the masters thing. I really want to not pick up the skill, but I want to take singing lessons because for my whole life, I have just opened my mouth and hoped for the best. And it's gone okay. Let me be used, bury my day. It's so easy to leave me all alone with the memory. Empty chairs at empty tables where my friends are dead. But I feel like, imagine my voice, which is a good voice, but if I knew what I was doing. I want to know how to protect my voice. I want to know techniques. I bought a steam inhaler the other day because I saw someone online use one. Looks like fun, doesn't it? What's your opinion on simultaneous cinema/streaming releases? Here's the situation. Streaming is not the big bad. Streaming is not going to kill cinema. Cinema just has to figure out a way to respond to it. Because as long as humans have been on this planet, we have enjoyed communal experiences. The cinema is a natural evolution of the amphitheatre. There is nothing like that shared communal experience of sitting in a room full of people all laughing, crying, gasping at the same time. My favourite memory of the past 5 years was the Portals moment in Endgame, and I saw the row in front of me just erupt. Cinema is magic. I need and hope and wish for studios, exhibitioners, distributors, everybody involved to pull their finger out and find a way to really make that experience accessible, affordable, and it's kind of just on us to really get that message across that this is an experience. Of course you can watch the film at home, of course you can, and now we have such great TVs and surround sound systems, it's quite a pleasant experience, but it is not the experience of going to the movies. And that's something precious and special and wonderful. It's up to us to communicate that, and if we do that well, the audience will still be there. That's how I feel. Who is your favourite YouTuber? Well, I'm hoping because you put all caps in there, that means that I'm yours, in which case, thanks very much, you're welcome. My favourite YouTuber, I have two. One of them is Lena Norms, who is my friend, so I feel like that's a cop-out slightly. Her video where she reread The Hunger Games was my favourite video of last year. As a viewer, but also as a creator, I found it so inspiring. I included it in my like intention mood board. I was like, I want to make videos like that. She talks about important stuff. She's so funny. She's so intelligent. I'm so grateful to know her. And we only got to meet up once this year in a park, but I've had her in my little screen. And my other favourite is Ashley Best Dressed for so many reasons. Again, I love the style of video she does. I love the thought that goes into it. She studied film, so she has a very similar creative brain to my entire friendship circle. And it's so common to say this, but like, she's one of those people who I feel like if I knew you in real life, we'd probably be friends. There's something about her creative energy and her sense of humour that just makes me think if she were in London, we would be at the pub in a time when we were allowed to go to the pub. Is London your forever home, or do you see yourself settling somewhere? Yeah, I love it here so much. There may be times in my life where I don't get to live here, but I will always gravitate back. In normal times, when I feel sad, I just go for a walk around central London and I'm like, wow, I'm here. There's a part of me that wants to live in LA for a little bit. I'd love to be the kind of person that divides his time between like Beverly Hills and West London, but like that'll have to be next year, probably. That's probably that then. Thank you very much for watching my video. What a week. Wonder what we've got in store next. Be good to yourselves and each other. Bye-bye. I was gonna salute and I think you could see that I was gonna go for it. Would have been bad for all of us.